glass-filled nylon handle with this TPC rubber overmold on it is that it's not very durable up here. And you can see just from taking it in and out, I've only taken this knife in and out a couple times since I've received it, and you can see it just gets all jammed up. It just doesn't wear very well up in that area. So just keep that in mind, and you guys can see really clear the plastic guard that goes around the knife at the hilt. And what happens is this piece snaps in right here, and it snaps in right here. And you can see those two creases. When I hit the top here, it broke that plastic piece and broke all the way down into the knife. So what I did was I sent an email to Gerber. I sent it back to him, and unbelievable customer service. And I've been pretty critical of this knife. But Gerber, unbelievable customer service. They turned this brand new knife around back to me in 1 week's time. 7 days I had it back at my door, the full entire package, sheath, leg straps, everything. And they threw in, this is just an awesome sheath, this emergency rope cutter, which is the most badass rope cutter I've ever seen. Those shears in there, those blades, those will cut them some rope. I guarantee it. I've done it, and I'm telling you, that is badass. Seatbelt, rope, whatever it may be, that is sweet. That's one of the best ones I've ever seen, both by design and just how friggin' sharp it is. That thing is really cool. Kudos to Gerber with just an awesome sheath that came along with it. So I may actually use this sheath for something else, and you may see it coming up soon in the Chronicles. But really cool. Really good job, Gerber. Kind of a no questions asked return policy, and really, really quick turnaround. I've got a story on cold steel. If you watch my Autobahn series, then you heard some of the twanging going on in the finger guard of my, what knife was that? Cold Steel Recon Scout. And so I sent that back, and I'll go over that in a whole separate thing. But Gerber, awesome job, customer service. Back to the blade, 420 steel. Again, this is a half serrated, sort of a half, nice belly though, real nice belly. So you can do some good slicing with this. And here was my remark to Gerber. I told them they'd sell the thing out if they did a full run of plain edge. Gerber does serrations very, very well. They cut, they don't rip, which is nice. Gerber definitely gets the serrations done right. But just me, I prefer either a full run. I prefer a full run of one or the other. So give me liberty or give me death. Give me the whole thing of serrated or the whole thing of full. But in all honesty, this works pretty well because the serrations are done. They did a great job with the serrations, so good job. You'll notice the two lash holes up here, one in the back. Lash holes. Anyway, two lash holes up here, one in the back. You can fix that to a spear. What I would use is hose clamps, one here and one here, if you have them, of course, and then lash it as well, and that'll give you a really, really snug setup. This is not a full tang design. The tang stops right around here, and if you notice in those destruction tests, then what you see is the knife will break right around here, and that's the reason why the hilt stops back here, and that's the reason why it can absorb electrical charge. So you can chop through wires with this, and I've seen stories online of soldiers that have done that, and the handle will absorb the shock, and although there'll be some burnout and stuff like that, it's not going to transfer that shock to you. So again, just coming back to the engineering and the ingenuity that went into this knife, it's just an incredibly thought out design, and that's the reason it gets so much merit. The back here, you've got a pommel on the top. I have used that before. This knife again is brand new, so this one hasn't been used, but I have used that before. It gives you a great edge to turn this over and go ahead and either use it as a defensive device, or you can use it to hammer in nails or dowels or whatever you may need. Sometimes you need to apply pressure to something to get that in, and what you can do is you can put your thumb here and apply that pressure down, but that gives you a great service. This is separate from the knife. This is a separate component, so just keep that in mind. And then, of course, a glass breaker or skull crusher, whatever you want to call it, but certainly can be used for defensive purposes, but I would describe this. I mean, this is serious business. You connect with that, and it's going to be lights out. So, just keep that in mind when you use it for a defensive situation, because this is not necessarily a non-lethal striking point here. So just keep that in mind. So lanyard hole or lash tab or lash hole, same with those up here for a spear. The 420, again, HC stainless steel. You want to keep it well oiled, but it will be corrosion resistant. It holds a great edge. It came very sharp out of the box, as do a lot of Gerber knives. You've got a really good spine on the back of this that's not too thick, but it certainly is thick enough leading down to the hollow grind, which keeps this thing just really sharp. This batons very well, or splits wood rather very well. I've split with it more than a number of times. In the design of the blade and the steel, it allows you to split wood very well. The only drawback is, again, the length of it. It's sub 5 inches, so just keep that in mind. You can't split anything too big with it. But not only that, you can't hit the back here. Again, refer to the K-bar fin blade against this knife, that video, and what you'll see is the K-bar fin blade has that sort of humpback handle design, and it doesn't have this top guard. So the knife plays a lot bigger than 4.5 or 5 inches because you can use the entire blade. Really, if you're going to split wood up here, you're going to be splitting a piece of wood that's probably 3 inches around max, because you need to have this part sticking out to baton with, which may be a problem for some people, may not be. You can't expect a larger blade to be able to perform as well in some of those capabilities as a larger blade. It's just a function of the size, and certainly no detriment to the knife. Just like you can't expect larger knives to do the work of smaller knives. This knife listed on Gerber lists for about $140, but you guys know and I know that's not where you buy it. You buy it at the knife shop, the blade shop, yourcornerstore.com, amazon.com, and you can get it for right around $80. So, again, a lot of functionality in this knife. And coming back to the high value theme, this thing's got it. Very high value. You can wear it in any number of carry positions. You can wear it. It'll act as a good camp knife, a good overall survival knife. Again, limited only by its size, certainly not by its design. Tons of different uses for this knife, just incorporated right into one blade. The sharpener built right in to the sheath. Again, high quality knife, high value knife. I've had a lot of good experience with it, with the exception of that top finger guard. So just keep that in mind, guys, for current owners and future owners. Save yourself the trouble and don't hit the back of that knife guard, because you will snap that plastic piece. So there you go. That's my review. Just as a side note, I think I read somewhere online that the OD green version is the only version that is impervious, undetectable by infrared. So this knife here in the Coyote Brown does not hold up to that standard, but I think the OD green one does. So for you military or LEOs out there, keep that in mind as well. But that's it. That's my review of this knife. Very high value. It can be had at your doorstep for probably $90, 80 to 85 plus shipping. Very high value. Great knife to have in your set because it's just so functional. Great knife to have in your pack. It weighs in at just the knife at about 11.5 ounces. If you use the sheath as well, you're probably going to come close to doubling that. But it's a rugged setup. It'll take a lot of what you can dish at it, and probably even more. So great job, Gerber. Good knife, great design, and I think it's another high-value knife. So there you go, guys. There's my review. If you have it, you already know what I'm talking about, and if you don't have it, you probably want to go out and get it after listening to this. So thanks for coming along, guys. Always appreciate it. Everybody have a good and safe weekend, and make sure you come back to the Chronicles. Peace!